Hi, I'm Brandon, and I'm back with another movie review. And with me as a co-host once again is Ben Metcalf from 3 Minute Horror Reviews. So subscribe to his channel if you haven't already, and subscribe to mine too if you want to help support me and the channel.
Hmm.
We've been covering the Hostel movie series. We've done part one and two. Now we're on to Hostel 3, which is the first one not to be directed by Eli Roth. It was
Yep.
directed, I believe, by Scott Spiegel, who was,
Yep.
I think, producer on the first one and a friend of theirs. And this is
Yep.
also the first one to move the action from Slovakia in Eastern Europe to Las Vegas. So
Hmm.
it's definitely a different vibe to it. And I guess we'll start off with you, Ben. What did you think of this one?
Well, almost every person in this movie, the males anyway, had very punchable faces, if you know what I mean. They're all annoying guys, and they all look annoying, and especially Chris Coy, the guy. Chris Coy, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but you were very annoying in this movie. Who is the guy who is the Elite Hunting Club's, I guess, sourcing expert at catching people. Whereas before they had entire teams of people who were doing it before. Now it seems to be this main guy, Chris Coy over here. I can't remember his name in the movie, but he I don't know. He's the guy who's catching people. It almost makes you think at the beginning of this movie that we're still in Slovakia because this character is checking into a hostel as many characters in the other movies have done up to this point, and he's double booked in a room. He gets into this room, and there's a guy from Ukraine, and I don't remember where his partner is from, but like she's pretty much naked, and this guy comes out and he's mad, and in the end he's not mad because hey, guess what? We're all here in this hostel together. That's fine. Let's have beers. So Punchable Face guy supplies the beers. And these two, so you think that, okay, these two are going to make their move on this guy. He's the bad guy. So these two are drugged, and suddenly a door in the wall opens up, and then somebody's secreting these two away. So that it makes you think that they're in Eastern Europe still, but no, they're actually in Las Vegas. I don't know if there actually are hostels in Las Vegas, but if I guess if there are, don't go to them because this maybe could happen to you. I don't know. It's pretty weird. But that's the setup that we get at the beginning that lets you know that the Elite Hunting Club is still in operation. Now, the setup for this movie's story starts with a group of guys, all who again have punchable faces, are on their way to one guy's bachelor party. They tell his bride to be that and this guy is married to Jennifer Love Hewitt in real life, I found out. Uh, they tell the wife that they're going to Palm Springs to play golf. But what they're actually doing is flying to Las Vegas to snort cocaine off of strippers' butts. That's what they're doing. And they pick up a couple of friends along the way. One guy he walks with a cane, with one cane, which seems to be ruining his life for some reason. He can't get women. No one wants to talk to him. No one wants to be around him because he's got one cane. And let me tell you, friends, I've got people in my life who have disabilities, and they are able to make romantic connections just fine. It's not a big deal. The problem is this guy. And their other pal who's married and he's in a miserable marriage and he's the worst guy ever. He sucks even more than all the other guys sucks. He sucks the most. What do you think of these guys?
Yeah, I think they're trying to recapture the guys from the first movie,
Hmm.
how they were just like annoying tourists. They're just young dickheads, the kind of thing. They It's almost like that, but a pale comparison. They're just the guys in the first movie. It turns out, you kind of grow to like them, right? You see, okay, they're not all bad. There's a little bit bad, and they're not as annoying. Yeah, in this movie, yeah, like they were all punchable. Like, and I want to go back to that opening scene. I think that
Yeah,
was very well done
yeah,
because Chris Coy, the guy you're talking about,
yeah,
he's kind of a geekier, nerdier looking guy.
yeah,
So you assume that he's going to be the victim. So he goes into this room, and there's this kind of tough looking, and very intense Ukrainian guy there
yeah,
who, Ukraine's in Eastern Europe. You kind of think that, oh, this is one of the guys involved in this, and he's got
yeah,
this hot girl with him. And it's even played like that. The Chris Coy guy is kind of playing it all like, oh, he's kind of scared to be there, and the
yeah,
other guy's intimidating him. And but then as the scene progresses, it's like, oh, it's the opposite.
Hmm.
It's actually this nerdy guy who drugs the other two, and they're the ones that wind up victims of the elite hunting club. So this movie has more twists than the rest of them. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
They do play with, you don't know where it's going. But yeah, these guys are assholes. And on
Yeah.
paper, this makes sense that it's like, oh, a bunch of guys going to a bachelor party in Vegas and the Elite Hunting Club is operating in Vegas. And it would be easy to pick these guys off because they're drunk, they're away from home, and it would be hard, even if you go missing. It's like, well, he's an adult and he's in
Yeah.
Vegas and he was drunk. Like maybe he went off somewhere. So it's harder to pinpoint the moment that they were taken. But for a movie called Hostel 3,
Yeah.
there's not even a hostel in it other than that opening scene. Other than that, like the guys are staying in a hotel. Like
They
they're not
find the
staying.
hostel at one point. They do go back to the hostel, so that actually has hostel on the top of it. So there is
Yeah,
an
they
actual
track
hostel.
they track them down. But the
Yeah.
whole point of the first two movies was
Yeah.
like you're lured to this place, and within this place, they're the ones that are when you check in, they scan your ID and that
Yeah.
whole thing. Where now it's like, well, there is a hostel, but it has nothing really to do with the plot of the movie, other than they try to track their friend down there. But whatever. When I first saw this movie, I hated it. The first time I
Yeah.
saw it, I absolutely hated it. It made me very mad. And then I watched it again a few times, and it has grown on me. It's
Yeah.
still it's still the least good of the three,
Yeah.
but it's pretty good. I think I was unfair to it the first time. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of hatred for this movie, but it's not as bad. It's actually decent, but it's hard to watch a movie where you spend the entire time hating the main people.
Yeah.
Like the main guy is not so bad. He's probably the most likable one, but I
Yeah.
find him kind of boring. He's just not that interesting.
He's still
All
kind
his
of scummy
friends,
too. Like he's a scummy dude who's had a history of cheating on this girl and
yeah,
all that stuff. He's a
he's not
gross
as
guy. Yeah.
he just doesn't have. He's not as annoying as the rest, and he doesn't
Right.
have the punchable face that you mentioned.
Yeah.
His friends are just. I get it. They're trying to make them characters because they want to be entertaining, but it's like holy shit! Like they're all just annoying
Yeah.
guys in different ways, and it's hard to like, you're supposed to care about them in some way to not want to see them tortured. Whereas
Yeah.
these guys, it was like, just get it over with. I want them out of the movie because they just suck.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. And in this one, the Elite Hunting Club works differently. So in the other ones, people were buying the opportunity to kill someone. In this one, people in true Las Vegas fashion, the members are sitting in a gallery and they're all betting using little handheld PDAs to on what's going to happen, like on how many arrows it's going to take to kill somebody if they're shooting them with arrows, or how many cockroaches they're going to have to pump into some. These are all spoilers for later on. How many cockroaches they're going to have to pour into somebody's stomach in order for them to die, or that sort of thing. Um, so they're all betting rather than taking part in the kills themselves. And it seems that the killers are contracted killers, I guess, or they're people who are regular performers for this crew. They seem to all have different characters as well. Like there's a doctor character, and there's a woman who dresses up like a dominatrix character, and that sort of thing.
And that's, I didn't, it doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah,
When you're betting on something like a sporting event, it has to
yeah,
be, it could go either way, right? Like
yeah,
theoretically, as long as it's not a setup, like we don't know which person's going to win.
yeah,
But with this, like you're betting on something that could so easily be cheated. Like it's
yeah,
like which bet on which weapon the guy is going to use to kill the person.
yeah,
But how do they know? Like they could just the guy running the show could be like, okay, let's see who's betting for. If all the bets are on this weapon, make him choose a different weapon,
yeah,
right? Like it'd be like, hey, bet on which hand I'm going to hold up. Well, I'm
yeah,
just going to hold up the opposite hand of what you bet, right? Like this, like how could you bet on things like how many arrows to kill them? Well, it depends. If they do them all to the legs, it's going to be a lot. If they do it to the head, it's going to be one. So
yeah,
it just doesn't make sense how this betting would work.
yeah. And that
And
doesn't even need to be hypothetical at this point in time because we've seen the way that being allowed to bet on everything in this world right now, in the year I'm dating this 2026, people can bet on everything. And so when you can bet on everything, you've got insiders who will say, okay, you know what? You're my friend. Go bet $1,000 on this thing happening, and I'm going to make it happen. It
yeah,
happens every day now. It's all over the place, everywhere. So that absolutely would happen.
so I get it that it's like okay, it's
Mm.
Vegas. They're going to have betting. I just didn't like that part. I
Yeah.
wish they kind of stuck to the original
Yeah,
way it
me too.
works. You know?
Hmm.
But whatever, it works. But it almost seems like, first of all, the kills in this movie are the weakest. Like the other
Yeah.
two had some scenes, like even the Elizabeth Bathory one,
Yeah.
or the eye cutting, like the Achilles tendon cutting.
Yeah.
They had things that were memorable. In this one, they were just not memorable, and it kind of turned almost more Saw-ish,
Yeah.
um, where the torture scenes was just like, here's like an extended 5 minute torture scene, and
Yeah.
then back to the movie, and then another scene, and like pouring CGI bugs into someone's mouth. Like it
Yeah.
just wasn't. It just seemed like they really cheaped out on like the torture scenes were by far the least memorable
Yeah.
things of the series, and it was my least favorite part of the movie.
And that's right. And that does make it more torture porn-ish, like what they're talking about, where you're just having a scene with an extended torture sequence. And that is part of the plot, I guess, because that is what the betters or the members of the club are actually watching is this they're okay, now scene. We're going to open up and this is the scene and this is how it's playing out. So we're experiencing what they're experiencing, which is just an extended torture scene.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't as effective as the when they
Yeah.
showed less of it, but more intensely.
Hmm.
So the movie kind of suffers for that. But I do like there is a lot of twists. So we find out
Yeah.
that like the best friend of the main guy
Yeah.
after they're all kidnapped, he's a member of the elite hunting club. He's like
Yeah.
in on it. And I was like, yeah, that's a good twist.
Yeah, that shocked me. Yeah.
Another drawback of the movie is especially towards the end, it
Hmm.
just turns into a full on action movie.
Yeah.
Like the first movie, it had like Paxton got a gun and he shot a couple guys on his way out, but it
Yeah.
wasn't an action movie. This one has like explosions, like the entire building blows up.
Yeah.
It just has like gunfights and fist fights and machine guns, and it's like that's fine in a different movie, but it's not really what I go to a Hostel movie for. I like them to play it more realistic. And as soon as that happened, it's like I
Yeah.
no longer believe the first two movies. It's like this might be possible.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like there's no way.
No.
How do you be firing machine guns off in the middle of a city and just not have the
Yeah.
police
Exactly.
draw their attention?
And
I just didn't like that.
yeah, it was very silly. And then I mean, the whole reason that the best friend did all of this is because he wanted to get in the pants of the fiance, and that's the whole reason why he did all of this. Why he killed, I guess he only initially intended to kill the one guy, the groom guy, and the other two were just collateral damage. But this guy caused the death of six people, just so that he could try and get in this woman's pants. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah,
like a lot of work to put yourself through. I
yeah, where he could
mean, if you think
probably,
about it, he could have just shot his friend. Put on a mask and shot him at a gas station
yeah.
one day, rather than go through this elaborate setup.
Exactly. And he's a rich guy too. If he's part of this club, he could probably get women, I'd say, and not necessarily a loving romantic relationship, but I don't think that that's what he's after anyway. I think he's just a conquest guy. So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
yeah,
he's
like why?
gross.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that he couldn't get over this his
Yeah,
buddy's wife or whatever. Like he's like, oh, he thinks his friend doesn't deserve her
yeah,
because his friend cheated on her. But it's like after a few years, wouldn't you just get over it?
yeah.
Like I didn't buy that whole part of it so
Mhm.
much. But there was a lot of twist, and even some of the twists they had, like the smaller ones, where the main character gets drunk at a bar and he
Yeah,
somehow gets locked out of the bar,
yeah,
and then you see this guy in a cab watching him,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it cuts to them taking someone to this building to be tortured, and you
yeah,
assume it's him because of what you just saw. But
yeah,
when they take the bag off his head, oh, it's actually one of his friends.
yeah. The most annoying friend.
Yeah, really annoying guy.
They cut
So
his face off too. It's funny.
they so they do a good job, and then of course the prostitutes, like these escorts that they
Yeah,
met the night before. It turns out one of them is also searching for her friend, so they kind of pool resources and team up to look for their friends who are missing, and then they of course get further and further involved in it. And there's a few things that don't make sense, like the opening scene with that Ukrainian guy, the intense
yeah,
Ukrainian guy. He basically spends most of the movie locked up in a cell,
yeah.
and he sees like his girlfriend and other people get taken away to be
Hmm.
tortured. But why? Like he was the first one there. What's the holdup? Why do they keep him there days on end? Like would
Yeah,
he
it's
be the next
weird.
one on deck, or like
Nobody wanted to see him die, I guess.
yeah?
Maybe. And well, no, it's too early for everybody to be pro-Ukraine, so they didn't want to see a Ukrainian guy get killed. But
Yeah,
that was too
yeah,
early. That was 2011. So
yeah. So there's some things like that, but overall, like the movie was fairly decent, but it just
yeah,
pales in comparison to the first two, and it just kind of it strayed a bit from its original premise as
yeah,
well. And also just having it in Las Vegas, like Las Vegas is not as scary as Slovakia.
yeah,
Like just being far away from home, and it's like, man, you can't even contact your own, your family, your friends. Like you're isolated in a strange part of the world.
yeah,
Whereas Las Vegas, like you could just hop a bus to anywhere in the country. Like you're not as isolated when you're in an American city, so
yeah.
it just makes it a bit less scary.
I heard on a podcast recently that a cab driver was telling a visitor to Las Vegas that every hotel room in the entire city of Las Vegas, someone has died in. And whether that be through suicide or alcohol or drug overdose or some or anything like that, someone has died in every single room in that place. And yet still, I think that at the end it kind of shows when I keep wanting to call him Paxton, but he's not Paxton, the groom. I'll call him the groom because I don't even remember his name now. Did I even write it down? Nope. um, the groom is running through this place after he's gotten loose, and you see all of the things that they've acquired from taking these people and all the massive pile of corpses there. If that many people were murdered and missing in Las Vegas, I have a feeling that somebody would be looking for that because
Yeah,
that was a lot of people. And they're
and
going
then
through like multiple people in a night.
they do touch on it when they're like, "Hey, let's call the cops and
Yeah.
report our friend missing." And then the escort's like, "You know how many people go missing in Las Vegas?" And it's like, I get that if it's
Yeah.
like you're a grown man and you're missing for like one night,
Yeah.
they might not have the resources to do that. But if
Yeah.
you're talking like 5 to 10 people a day are going missing,
Yeah. And never
they'd
coming
be,
back. Yeah.
and word would just get out. Like,
Yeah.
by the way, like if you go to Vegas, like there's a 80% chance you're never coming home. People would just stop going. So
Yeah.
I don't get how it's like in Eastern Europe, they might not have reported. Like people might not know that, like, hey, this guy told me he was going to Italy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he took a train to Slovakia. So
Yeah.
there's a way that maybe they don't quite know what happened to them. But if you have a plane ticket or something to Las Vegas and then you go
Yeah.
missing there, people are going to make that connection.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. This one was the first one that did not get a theatrical release as well. The other two came out in the theaters. This one was straight to video.
Yeah,
Th-
like I said, I hated it at first, but
yeah,
it has grown on me. Like all the problems I have with it, it's still a decently entertaining movie if you just
yeah,
kind of ignore some of those things. But it's a far cry from the first two. Like it's just not as well made, and I think it looked good on paper. Like how
yeah.
about it's in Vegas? And it's like, oh, like it kind of makes sense, but yeah,
Kind of not at the same time.
yeah,
The last final twist I thought was very, very stupid, but it was also satisfying at the same time. I mean, it made
yeah,
me laugh.
yeah. You see the best friend who orchestrated this whole thing, the
Yeah,
guy who was the that ratted out his friends, got them all killed because he was a member. He wanted his best friend's wife.
yeah,
That guy escapes, and the main guy, the groom, you see him, he gets kind of blown up with the
yeah,
building, and you assume he's dead. And then you cut to this bastard best friend who is now with the groom's wife,
yeah.
trying to
At the
console
funeral.
her.
He's not
and
waiting. He's at the funeral trying to get in them pants.
and then turns out that the groom did not die,
Yeah.
and him and his wife strap this guy to a chair and they go nuts on him with some weapons.
With a really gnarly looking lawn power tool. They just take it to the guy, and you don't see it, but you hear it.
I have a feeling their neighbors would hear that too,
Oh yeah, for sure.
screaming. So it doesn't quite make sense. But it was nice to see that guy get what's coming to him. But
Yeah,
I just felt like overall this movie just wasn't as satisfying as the others. Like
yeah,
it was like, yeah, that's a decent straight to video horror movie, I guess.
yeah. I agree. It definitely wasn't as good as the first two, but it is better than a lot of the crap that I watch. That's for sure.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
watch a
like you
lot
said,
of nonsense, people. I watch a lot of crap.
Yeah, watch Ben's channel. You'll see what he means.
Yeah. So what do you
So
give
what
this one overall?
I 5.5.
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty close. I give this one a six.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, it was not a terrible movie. It wasn't a very good Hostel movie, but it was not a terrible movie overall. It looked good, sounded good. I thought the CGI looked pretty good too for the bugs. I didn't really notice there was only a little bit of CGI blood splatter. The rest of it seemed to be practical, which I liked. So,
yeah. I think
yeah.
that even the bug scene, CGI didn't bug me that
Yeah.
much. It's just like, yeah, the CGI was definitely not a problem. It's just overall like the kills were just not that memorable.
Yeah. They felt a lot more visceral and personal in the first two movies. In this one, they were just kind of there.
So I
They
think,
sure
and
did.
I'm glad they did. I mean, with Saw, we're on like what Saw 10 or 11 now. Like they just keep
Yeah.
making them, and I've kind of lost interest. Whereas Hostel, they abandoned it after this one, and I think that's
Yeah.
good. They
I think that's
really should
good too. Yeah.
they should have stopped at part two technically, but we have three pretty decent movies, but two really good movies
Mhm.
that I think really encapsulate that era that Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Um,
They kind of encapsulate that era of movies in the early 2000s. Well, not, I guess not early 2000s, but in the 2000s, even though the last one was in 2011. But they kind of encapsulate that feeling of that particular type of movie, like Therese does, and all that sort of thing. There were a bunch of them that all came out at the same time, but these are probably the first two movies are kind of like the paradigm of that genre.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And I guess we can always look back fondly on them, even if not making new ones. I'm sure one of these days someone's probably going to remake it, and it won't
Yeah.
pale in comparison. But for
What's he
now, we're
doing
stuck.
now? He's remaking Ice Cream Man, so he'll probably remake Hostel at some point in time.
Or someone else will and do a shit
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. Oh, there's probably mockbust like there's probably takeoffs on it at somewhere. We should look that up. There is
Yeah,
another Hostel 3. So there is another Hostel 3, but it's not if you look up Hostel 3 right now, you have to look up Hostel Part 3 to see this movie. Because Hostel 3 is a movie in Nepal about and it's like a comedy.
oh, okay. I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for the Hostel series. So we'll
Yeah.
be back at some point talking about a different series. We'll decide what, or if you have any recommendations for what series you want us
Yeah.
to cover, let us know.
Yeah, and tell us about hostels in the comments. If you like hostels or if you've been to hostels, I'm interested. I've never been to a hostel.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.